Bunny hopping is a key skill for riding any trail, downhill, cross country, or even jumps.
Yeah, we've done this video before, but we want to progress this bunny hop skill into a bit more of a advanced one to help you get over bigger obstacles on the trail.
Yeah, this is how to bunny hop better. So one of the biggest things to sort of get your head around with the bunny hops is how you need to move your weight around on the bike to do it. And it's something that I always talk about is one of the biggest mistakes is people using their muscles to do it, so their arms and legs to lift the bike into the air. Which of course you actually do need to do, but it's all about moving your weight around the bike from middle to back to front to do it. So let's go into that in a bit more detail. One of the most common mistakes is because people think the bike is going up into the air, they just think about that vertical plane. So if you look at Blake's hips now, think of Blake's hips as being really where most of his weight is on the bike. You can see how it goes from the middle of the bike down towards the saddle, so that's the pump, and then goes really far back, so almost level with the rear axle of the bike. And that's the thing that lifts the front wheel. It's not in the vertical, it's in the vertical and then the horizontal that does that. And it's also important to do that for the rear wheel lift as well. You've then got to think about standing up and forward to lift the rear wheel and not thinking about bringing your feet up to you to do it. So that's the thing, down and back to lift the front wheel. And if people aren't doing enough of that, then you haven't got anywhere to stand up from to get a better bunny hop, get a bigger bunny hop. Because a lot of people will rely a little bit on moving and then a lot on pulling with the arms to lift the bars. What will then happen is your hips will stay somewhere in the middle. So then you haven't got the space to move to get the rear wheel lift and your bunny hop won't be very big. So a great way of doing this and checking how much you're moving around is to ask a friend to film you, watch it in slow motion and see just how much your hips are moving and how much you're pulling on the bars, and try and get rid of that. Get your hips really moving. Like I said, on Blake's slow motion, his hips are right above the rear axle and also low. Then you've got space to stand up and go forward. The other common mistake is where people lift with their feet to lift the rear wheel. The hips will probably be quite high and then they lift. Your weight will then stay all over the rear wheel and it'll also make for a heavy landing and not a very big bunny hop. A telltale sign of people using their feet to try and lift the back wheel is a massive shinner, like Blake has just beautifully demonstrated with his bloody shin.
Oh, look at it! The crank brothers stamp in my leg. I could even feel it coming to my foot. I was like, oh!
What can happen is if you try and pick up with your feet and pick up with your legs, you know, on a flat pedal, it's easy to slide off your shoes off the pedals. And what will happen is you'll miss one and they'll fly around and whack you in the shin. So if you start feeling like your feet are moving around a lot or getting light on the pedals, try and look at, again, videoing your riding if you can, because it's really looking for your hips to do that movement to lift the rear wheel rather than too much of a scoop with the feet. What else do you think people could do to improve their bunny hops, Blake?
Well, if you want to progress that bunny hop into being a massive hop over something quite big, I like to imagine there's a jump in front of me and I'm driving the bike up and over this thing. So it's fictionary, there's nothing there, but in my head I can see a big jump, and what I'm doing is I'm driving the bike forward and pulling up with my bike with my handlebars and bringing up my body weight through my hips and through curling my feet on my pedals. Basically just been super explosive.
Yeah, there definitely is some of that scoopy feet as well. I try and say there isn't, but actually once you've got the movement nailed to do a really big hop, you've stood up and forward, and then you can scoop as well and use your legs to then get that extra bit of height. The problem is people sometimes do that to begin with and then they don't get that sort of system of doing it nailed.
Yeah.
I would say practice on flat pedals as well. It takes away any sort of temptation to cheat and just pull with your feet to get the bike in the air, because in the long term it's not going to pay off. Blake said he likes to visualise a jump in front of him to get a really big hop. Something I like to do is actually try and pick something on the trail, like something to hop onto. So, you and Blake are both going to do it. Try and hop from this up on top of this ledge. I think once you've got something to aim for, you can really think about getting the timing right and doing a big hop to try and get up and over this thing.
So you can see Neil's used that bunny hop technique and he's made it big to clear this obstacle right here to get on top. Whereas me, I don't like rock gardens. I want to clear the whole thing and land over there. So what you want to do is you can use obstacles just like this one right here to manipulate that bunny hop to get you a bit more higher in the air to clear this whole obstacle. By bumping your front wheel and letting your back wheel carry on through to hit it, you can get a little bit more height and you can clear obstacles really high just by using that. You use that bunny hop technique there.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
It was fun. Yeah, keep practicing. Bunny hops, always think you can improve.
Yeah.
I don't do it enough.
We've done a number of these videos on our channel and there's a lot out there to watch, but it is a key skill to have when you're out mountain biking.
Yeah, check out how to bunny hop over there and the fat bike bunny hop world championships over there.
Yeah.
I think Dolly won that, didn't he? What did you win?
I won it.
Oh, Blake won it.
Don't forget to hit the globe to subscribe because you're missing out on some rad content. Give us a thumbs up like if you like bunny rabbits. You do.